Are you? I'm feeling just a little bit emotional right now. My head has been really hurting today, and I really wanted to talk to you, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and go live, and we'll just make a video anyway. And then I wanted to look through some stuff that Mom had gone through and put together for me that was from Dad. So my dad used to write a lot of stuff, and I'm going to, on other videos, read little clips. Dad used to write into the newspaper all the time. And I'm going to, later on, go through some stuff and read clippings that Dad would write into the newspaper. He was well known, I remember, when I was a kid. But I am going to read something to you today that he wrote about his mother. I didn't actually read the whole thing. I just read like the first sentence and maybe the last thing on there. I'm not sure that I can get through it without being very emotional. There were several things in there that were like a tribute to Granny when Granny had, my dad's mom, when she had passed away. I was not able to go to her funeral in Arkansas. Let's see, I think it was in '89 when Granny passed away, and I wasn't able to be there, and I'm looking through stuff, and I'm like, I should have been at her funeral. I should have been at her funeral. And there were some other things. There was some other tribute about somebody else in the family that I didn't know that a newspaper reporter had written into the paper that he reported for. And I'm like, I just can't look at anything else that has anything to do with death right now. But I wanted to tell you about a seizure that Micah had when she came to Texas. But first, there's a few people that came on to say hello. And let's see. Carly Rogers, hello there. And Monet Hawthorne, how is Micah doing after seizure? She's doing great. This actually happened back in July here in Texas, and I'll explain here in a minute. And Debbie Cragine says, is Micah's birthday October? Yes, Micah's birthday is October 30th. I am going to go, I was actually going to do it today, but my head has been hurting too bad, and so I didn't sit down and go through the questions. I was going to make today a question and answer, but I didn't get it done, so I'm going to do something else instead. And Haley Mendel says, hi. Hello, Haley. How are you? Mom, daughter Haley. And Debbie says, mine is October 14th. That's cool. And our wedding anniversary is October 17th. Spike and Bob Travels, how are you? Do you remember Jamie Lee? Yes, I do. Over in the UK. I absolutely remember you. So, Spike and Bob Travels. Now, you're not Jamie, are you? Is that a different channel that you have now? And he said, hello, Haley, Miss Daughter. So let me tell you about Micah real fast. My dad passed away on July the 17th in Texas. And as soon as I found out, I started grabbing all my stuff. 2.5 hours later, I was on the road. I've never packed so fast. I opened up the suitcase, threw everything in the closet in there, and came on my way down here. I drove all night long. I didn't even know I could drive all night long. It's the only time I've ever driven all night long. I got here about somewhere around 7 o'clock in the morning. And so I've been in Texas since July the 17th of 2018. I am soon to go home. I am ready to go home. I'm not begrudgingly here. I wanted to be here with Mom. And I didn't want Mom to be here by herself. And I was already planning on going to a YouTube conference, and I was already planning on being here this week that I'm here right now because of Dad's military reunion. Mom was at first not going to do it, wasn't sure what she was going to do, decided she would go ahead. We had Dad's service or Dad's funeral on Saturday, on the following Saturday. So he passed away on Tuesday, and on the following Saturday we had a funeral. You know, I wish that I would have something so I didn't have to hold my arms. Let's see. So William had driven like 12 hours to get here. That's about how far it is from our house to here. And I was all prepared for them. They were coming in I figured that Micah would be hungry, and I figured she would be thirsty. So I was awake, I was ready, and I was all prepared to take care of Micah when she got here. I went straight out to the van and greeted everybody, but I think I greeted Micah first. William gets her in the house, takes her to the bathroom, and after I took Micah to the bathroom, she's turned around to the sink, and all of a sudden she's just kind of wilting, and she's just sort of sliding down. I mean, literally it was like wilting down. And I'm like, Micah, what's the matter? And of course, I'm holding on to her. And then all of a sudden her head was flat on the countertop next to the sink. And I'm like, Micah, what's wrong? And I'm thinking maybe she's having a seizure, but she's not like flailing around or anything. She's just wilted. And I said, well, Micah, can you stand up? So she manages to stand up, and I managed to walk her from the bathroom to the couch down here. She sits down on the couch. I don't think I've already told you this story. I hope I haven't already told you. She gets over to the couch, and I sit her down, and her face is so pale, and she looks like she's gray in her face. Have you ever seen anybody that was really sick or they're close to death and they just turn gray all over? Micah literally looked gray. She looked like she was just about gone. And I holler at Bronson and I said, Bronson, come here and look at Micah. And he looks at her and I said, you see how she looks? And about that time, Micah started having a seizure and she was, just sort of shaking a little bit. So I just, I was just stroking her arms and I was talking to her and, of course, I know that in the middle of a seizure, you don't know what's going on, so you're not necessarily processing the fact that I'm trying to help you, meaning Micah, but I was just trying to do what I could, and we kind of waited it out. It didn't take very long. It was, how long would I say it was? I don't know, maybe 20 seconds or so. It wasn't like a really long time. So after she has that, she just kind of wiped out. When you have a seizure, it just sort of drains you, takes everything out of you. The plan is that she was going to come upstairs where I'm at right now, and she was going to sleep up here. I had already blown up the mattresses, the twin size air mattresses. I had blown them up before everybody got here. Some of the kids went to a hotel, and then some of the kids were staying here. And Micah was going to be staying here upstairs, and William was going to walk her up the stairs. When I said, I told William, I said, I don't think Micah is ready to, I don't think she's going to be able to walk up those stairs because I think she's just too wore out now. And William agreed, so we brought down the mattress. In the process, we knocked out I didn't know for several weeks, actually. Just got fixed the other day, but the chandelier that was hanging above the steps, we actually knocked it out of the ceiling with the mattress, and Mom informed me that we should have never taken a mattress that was blown up down the stairs. And I said, yeah, I know, Mom, it was after midnight and it was already blown up, and we were just doing our best to try to get Micah laid down. That night, I didn't even put Micah in her pajamas. I just took off her socks and I took off her braces and her shoes, and I just laid her down, and then Micah wouldn't go to sleep, and then I stayed on the couch. We ended up just leaving Micah downstairs for the whole trip. They were here Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, so I slept on the couch next to her. And that first night, she couldn't sleep, and then I couldn't sleep because she couldn't sleep, and she couldn't sleep because I couldn't sleep, and there were some lights on, and anyway, it was just a different environment, and I know she was so tired, and I'd say, Micah, lay your head down. Micah, lay your head down, go to sleep. Go to sleep, Micah. Lay your head down. It's time to go to sleep. And finally, we both went to sleep. So I thought, man, why in the world did Micah have that seizure? So get up the next morning, and I decided that she'd probably had that seizure because she was dehydrated, probably hadn't had enough to eat, and she was out of her routine because she's usually in bed before 8 o'clock at night. It was after midnight before she got to bed. But she had lunch at noon. William ended up getting a late start because of Lauren's car. So William fed Micah at home before they left. So she'd had a good breakfast, she'd had a good lunch, she'd had plenty to drink at breakfast and lunch. But I know from past experience, Micah does not usually drink very much or eat very much when we're on a trip. And I thought she must have been dehydrated. But when I thought about breakfast and lunch, I thought, well, I don't know. It had only been about 12 hours, but it must have just been a combination of maybe dehydration and the long travel, extra tired. But that was very unusual because we've made a lot of trips with Micah, and that has never, ever happened. But I also don't think we've ever traveled with her that late at night. So anyway, the next day, William says, I think I know what happened to Micah. And I said, what? And he said, I think maybe she was dehydrated. And I said, yep, I was thinking the same thing. So as a parent, I just think, you know, wow, what a terrible parent that, you know, we've allowed Micah to get dehydrated. It wasn't done on purpose, of course, but as a parent, that's just kind of how you think. So on the way home, first of all, they got off to a much earlier start, and William made sure that Micah drank more than she did coming down. But he said coming up, or let's see, going up from here, coming down. We're in Nebraska, this is Texas. Coming down, he said he kept offering her drinks, but she just wasn't drinking enough. So he just made sure going home that he was offering her more, that she was drinking, or that he was encouraging it, or whatever it was he did. But she was fine going home. So that was a very interesting thing that we weren't expecting. So let me go back through these comments here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Haley Mendenhall, goo goo gaga, you funny girl. And Debbie says, I love you, Mike and Tamara, and we love you too. Thank you so much for being here. Spike and Bob Travels. Yes, it's me. Haley, you're fuzzy. Oh, I'm fuzzy. I'm sorry. On my side, it's not. It might be where I'm sitting. Let me see. If I sit here, is this any better? Blurry, you say. Okay. See if I'm any better here. And Debbie says, Tamara, how old was your dad when he passed away in July? He was 83. And I'm thankful that we had a long life with Dad. And Spike and Bob Travels, watching on iPad now. Okay, I'm hoping that that's better. Shannon Baxter says, hi. Hi, Shannon. How are you? Rita P. Hi, Tam. Hi, Rita. Judy Matheson. Stress and heat can bring on seizures, or she was very dehydrated. So it may have been a little bit of both. Because now that you mentioned heat, there was a problem with the air conditioner in the van on their trip coming down. It was much better going back. They were able to add some Freon into it and fix it. Pix4434 says, hi, Tam. Hope you're doing great. I can't watch very long as I'm only on my lunch hour at work. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. And I know that I didn't announce that I was going to go live. You guys just don't ever know what I'm going to do you? Shannon Baxter, hi. Hi, Shannon. And Monet Hawthorne, I had a seizure because of the heat, and it was scary because I never passed out before. Wow, that is very scary. Shannon Baxter, I'm good. Get well soon, Mikey. Thank you so much, Shannon. Rita P, how's Micah? Micah's doing well. Let's see, today's Monday, and I talked to her on Saturday. William had her on speakerphone, and I told her that when I got home, I was going to get her out of her chair, and I was going to give her a big, big, giant hug, and she hollered out real loud. She was happy about that. And Pig says, I like surprises, so it's nice to get one once in a while. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad that this is a nice surprise for you. And let's see, there was something I was going to tell you real fast about Micah. Oh, I was going to tell you about, I put a couple of videos up of William's cousin Dwayne. He's 50 years old and he has Down syndrome. There are so many similarities between him and Micah, between he and Micah. Is that how you say that? He or him. I was surprised that there were so many similarities between the two of them, but it made me miss Micah a ton. So I cannot wait to get home and see Miss Micah and give her a hug. And if I can, I'm going to, if somebody is there when I get there, I'm going to hand somebody the camera and let them do a video when I first walk in to see Micah. I want that moment to be on video because I think it will be really sweet. So if I can make that happen, I'm going to. The similarities that were there between Micah and her cousin are talking about the same thing over and over. That was something that was very similar. Being really happy about stuff. He loves to watch himself on video. Micah loves to watch herself on video. He loves to see pictures of himself. Micah loves to see pictures of herself. So those were the kinds of things that were similar, and it was really cool. And let's see. Haley says you are really blurry. Let's see. What can I do here? Let me see. All right, let's see if I walk in here. This is a better spot to be, so let's see. Okay, if I sit right here, am I better right here? Is it better for being blurry? Somebody let me know here. And Monet Hawthorne, where is Mikey? I miss seeing her. Mikey is at home in Nebraska. I'm still in Texas. Shannon Baxter, it's 8:35 p.m. in Scotland, in the UK. Oh, I didn't know you were in the UK. So it's late for you. It's in the afternoon. Let's see, it's about 2:40 here in the afternoon. And Pick says that would be great to see. Yeah, you're talking about Micah when I get home. Yeah, I'm really hoping I'm hoping that I don't forget, because I will be so excited to be home. I'm hoping that I don't forget about that. So the other thing I wanted to do, oh, somebody tell me if I'm not blurry. Haley says no. You have to clarify. Pick says yep. Yep, that would be great to see. And Haley says no, you have to tell me. So no means that this is not a better spot to sit in, or no, I'm not blurry. So let's see. I want to read this to you that my dad wrote. Let's see. There's a delay. Yeah, it might just be the reception of where I'm at. Let's see. Now there's a delay from you to me. So when you put stuff in the chat, there's always a few second delay there. So I have to stay on top of the chat so that I know what you're actually talking about. Okay. Oh, Haley says I'm still blurry. Yeah. This is like the best place in the house to be. Well, that's kind of no good if I'm... Do you have Wi-Fi there? Yeah, I don't even know the Wi-Fi password because I just use my phone when I'm here. Well, let's see. All right, let's go. Okay, let's try this because I've done videos in here before where I wasn't actually live, but I was doing a video. Tell me if this is better. Haley says, sorry, Mom. I know. I am too. So tell me if this is better. Am I blurry now, or is this good? And then if this is good, I'm going to read the letter, and if it's not, then we'll just hang up, because I did tell you one thing I wanted to tell you today, and then I'll read this letter to you that my dad wrote. Okay. Another pioneer, Lockie Bell Morris Baldwin. So I'll show this to you. My dad wrote this about his mother, and I want to read it to you. It says, from time to time, I write about some of our pioneers I have known through the years. The one I am writing about today is special. She may or may not still be alive, but as of this writing, she is gravely ill. She was born at Luber on August 22nd, 1908, to peddler John Morris and his wife, Lena, who ran the post office and country store. And Luber would be in Arkansas, Luber, Arkansas. She grew up in this community with her two sisters, Ethel and Lucy. She helped in the garden and did all the normal chores of rural life at the time, including helping her father cut wood for heat, cooking, and timber to sell. Her father was also a singing school teacher, and on one of his peddling and teaching rounds, he acquired a steam-powered sawmill, which he operated with the help of a partner and his family, meaning that more wood was needed not only to saw and sell, but also to fire the boiler. This special lady managed to get through all this and still get enough education to teach in the area as she finished high school. Her father then sent her and her sister Lucy to Oklahoma to be with an older half-brother, Walter Morris, an attorney, who would see that they got further education by teaching and working at a cafe while they attended college. Not long after finishing college, this special lady, Lockie Morris, met retired Navy Chief Henry Elijah, they called him Lige, Baldwin, who she would marry and return to Arkansas with in 1934. 4 children, Paul Dean, Mary June, Sarah Evelyn, and Jean Orrin, were born to this couple. Lige did not get to see Jean, the youngest, because with the obvious oncoming of World War II, he returned to active naval duty in 1941. He became ill in early 1942 and died in the Naval Hospital at Pensacola, Florida, in July 1942, leaving a widow and 4 small children. Well, this pioneer lady recruited the help of her mother, who had herself become widowed in the late 1930s, and went right along with the business of raising the children and did the best job they could have done. I repeat, she did the best job that could have been done. The children grew up with her mother's tuberculosis and other ailments eventually took her away. The children left the nest one by one until she was left alone except for photographs, memories, and visits. But in spite of her failing health, she maintained the home as if it were a mighty fort for us to come home to stay at any time after any of our life's battles. To me, she is the grandest lady of them all, a true pioneer and my mother. Paul Dean Baldwin, September 10th, 1996. So isn't that a cool tribute that my dad wrote about his mother when she was still alive? So I just wanted to read that to you and tell you about Micah and say hello to you, and I will talk to you again soon. Let me see if I missed anything. Nope, looks like no new comments came in. But thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate it. This is Tamera Weeks with Tam's Daily Vlog, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.